I don't spend as much time thinking about my mistakes in the UFC here in India as I did when I was back home. I think when I first got here, I was definitely a little bit. I was still kind of wrapped up in that. Like, what did I do wrong? Why am I not fighting right now, making money, this, that, and the other? I always saw myself as somebody who was fighting for a purpose that was big, big for people. And I thought that, when I was on The Ultimate Fighter.
And I want to be able to make people a little bit happier, and heal them, because I know that through fighting, I've caused a lot of damage to myself, emotionally and physically, and I've learned through that how to make myself feel better, and I know I can offer that to other people now.
So really fighting is just kind of like a vehicle for you to offer this message in some ways.
Oh yeah, man, yeah, definitely, man, and I have to be great at fighting in order for this message to mean more to people, If I suck, then people are going to be like, forget what he has to say, So it's very important for me to do well so that I can speak to people and help them out.
And then as soon as this show ended, man, I was just trapped. I was like, just spiraling downhill, and I'm like, how is this the same guy who had something that seemed like such a, his words made such an impact on so many people, and then all of a sudden I'm just like living a lie, or I'm just like, no substance to me whatsoever.
I entered this game and I fought many fights. They tell Jonathan, I loved your fight with Jose Aldo, it was great, but I look back at it and I was like, I was so high right before that fight. I remember smoking weed minutes before walking out. It's not you versus that other person. It's really not. I mean, that other person is just there to expose you. He's just there to expose all your weaknesses. What work didn't you do? Like how, and it's not about how many miles you've ran or how much you've done this. I mean, it really exposes what I've learned. It exposes your weaknesses. When I say weaknesses, your bad habits, your inability to have strong will, and that to me is the most beneficial about fighting. My opponent being myself has been tougher than anybody I've ever even had to try to even fight, because I know that when he's not there, I'm really good. I'm really, really good. So the fact that I can make myself so bad by just being, I mean, it sounds crazy to say, but I feel like I don't have a split personality, but it does. When you have a deep an addiction, it feels like there's two people arguing with each other. One wants one thing and one wants the other. It's a hard way to live, That's the part that really tripped me out the most, is I realized that, I started to look at my addictions, and I said, okay, I had to be honest with myself. You have an addictive personality, you had an older sister, she passed away from alcohol abuse, and you have a little brother who you've tried to help who shoots up drugs, and all these family issues, and these are parts of the story that they're along the lines, but ultimately it was my fault why I didn't do well. So when I'm watching people say I could never give this up, I'm saying to myself, and I'm watching their health deteriorate, mind you. I'm watching peers, kids I used to play football with in high school, I'm watching them like shadows of their former self. When I say I try for months to stop, it's like an everyday thing. I wake up and I say, I am going to stop. I am going to stop. Like, today is the day. And I don't, So leading into the Ultimate Fighter finale, I had gotten 1 month sober. And I trained for the fight for 1 month out of 5 or 6 that I had. And I fought an okay fight. I won.
I'm Karen Bryant for MMA Heat, and I'm here with the new Ultimate Fighter, Jonathan Brookins. Congratulations to you. You must be feeling great right now.
Yeah, man, I do feel great. I think it's going to take a little bit to soak in, man. I'm still kind of beat up, so I'm kind of just, coming back to life a little bit.
That first round was dicey. I'm going to be polite and say dicey, because you were getting, a little manhandled a bit.
Yeah, no, he was throwing shots, man. I think that was not the right feel-out process that I was going for, so
But, I ended up, rebuttaling quite, decently. And, I had a little bit more fun in the second and third round. It was fun the whole time, though. I'm just so thrilled to be here, man. More than anything, I'm just thankful for the family and friends that showed up, the people who supported me, man. This, like I said before, this isn't even my win, man. Nothing, man. I mean, I was in there getting knocked around. That was me. I deserved to be knocked around. Now, the part that prevailed, that was everybody else. That was my family, my friends. So they won, I lost. And now I got to improve and come back, So, I'm looking to kind of rebuttal and become a better fighter.